Okay, I feel like I got that lighting right. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, bestie. And if you're new to the channel, hi babe, I'm Ria. I feel like everybody saw the title of the video. Today we're going to be doing a story time, obviously, because we're sitting down. And today's story time is basically titled, He Kicked Me Out on New Year's. Before we jump into the story time, I'm going to give you guys a bit of context. So it is October, right? I'm not gonna say the year doesn't matter. Me and my man were going through a lot of things that I'm not ready to talk about, and our relationship was just rough. Like, we're going through a really rough patch, and around November was when we really kind of like started to drift apart, and we didn't communicate as much and stuff like that. So essentially we broke up, right? It was never a thing that was discussed that, hey, listen, we're breaking up and stuff like that. It was just mutually understood that we went through this really tough thing, and I'm really not feeling you right now, and he wasn't feeling me either, and it was what it was. So late November this happened. So early November it happened, and then in December, I'm not sure what the date was, but yeah, it was in December, early December, because I remember I moved out of Res around the 13th, 12th of December, so it was before that, right? So there's this guy, he was like, he wants to, let's give him a name. His name was Ocean. So Ocean is like, hey, listen, I really want to take you out on a date, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I've been like in a rut for a really long time. I'm sad, I'm semi-depressed, so I don't mind you taking me out on a date. I didn't tell him that. That's what, like, I was thinking to myself, that, you know what, maybe a date is what I need to get out of this funk, to remember who the fuck I am. I'm a fucking city girl. That's what I was thinking. I was like, no problem, you can take me out on a date. So he asked me about my situation, like, don't you have a boyfriend, whatever. I told him the situation. I'm like, you know what, we're not really together right now. I don't know what's going on, so I'd be lying if I said yes, I have a boyfriend, but it's not giving right now. So he was like, okay, cool, no problem. He took me out on a date, right? So prior to this date happening, I had removed the people who live in my boyfriend's hometown from my close friends, because every time I posted something on my close friends, he would hear about it. And the people who were on my close friends were just, you know, girls who would like give me compliments, and I would compliment them, and we would like kind of support each other. So my friends, most of my friends were on my close friends, and the girls from this hometown. So when things got back to him, I knew my girls would never ever, they don't even know him like that to be able to communicate with him like that. Do you know what I mean? So I got irritated by that, so I just removed them off of my close friends. And I remember this was around about the time I decided to start a Finsta account, because I wanted to post freely without having you know, from, yeah, I had suspected this one girl because I didn't get her vibe. Like, and my gut was right, because I really wanted to like this girl so bad, because I don't know, I just didn't have a problem with her. She was always so nice to me, but there was something off about this girl, you know, but we're gonna get into that later. So for this specific date, we're going on a date. I remember we're in the car, I took a mini video and I held his hand, and I removed everyone on my close friends, because it was not someone who I was ready to like go public about. It was not even someone I considered as an option at that point. I just went out on a date to remember who the fuck I am. And then I remember removing everybody on my close friends, because I wanted to confirm Reabetswe man. She's the one that's been telling my man that, oh, she's posting this and she's doing this and she's doing that. So it was kind of like a test, right? So I posted that, I added her, and lo and behold but let's not get into that right now. We're gonna spin back. She doesn't tell him at that time. I didn't know that. I was like, whatever, like, you know, when you break up with someone and you're still trying to get their attention, you're still trying to make them feel her, I'm still that girl, what the fuck are you talking about? It was that for me. I was basically using this girl to go and relay information to him so he would like be phased and pick up his socks, because what the fuck is you doing, you know? I added her to the close friends. I posted the video. Sharp. It wasn't even a video, it was a boomerang, right? Cool. Fast forward to December. So my mom decides, listen, we're going to Northwest, and I missed him. I felt like, you know, so when I heard that we're going to Northwest, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give this man a call. So I gave him a call, and we basically had a long conversation about really nothing. He was really cool towards me, you know, he was not really feeling me, and I was like, okay, he's not feeling me, the relationship is basically over. So okay, so my mom tells me that we're going to Northwest. I remember we're at my aunt's house, so she tells my sisters, and my sisters come up to tell me, yo, we're going to Northwest, like, are you coming? What are you doing? Like, are you gonna go get your man back? What? I'm like, nah, he's not feeling me like that. That's actually when I decided to call him to see what it was giving, and it was giving, I want you to beg me, and I'm not doing that. So yeah, so we were on the phone. I don't even remember what we spoke about, but yeah, that was it. And I think like 2 days later was when we traveled to Northwest. So I decided, you know what, just because my relationship ended with this person doesn't mean I should stop going to visit my granny, because I really liked being in Northwest. Like, I like being here, it calms me. There's just something about Swazi Reineke that makes sense to my soul. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go regardless, and if I bump into him, then I bump into him. If I don't, then I don't. It is what it is at this point. So I remember we arrived, I don't remember what the date was, but I know it was around Woody 14, 15, somewhere there. And we arrived at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at around 7, 7:30. I always drink coffee in the morning, so I wake up, I have coffee on my mind, and I'm just like, yeah. So I get a phone call. So immediately when my phone rang, I knew who it was. But you know, because he gave me an attitude when I called him, I was trying to give that as well. So he calls me, he's like, hey. I'm like, hey. He asked me, are you around? And I'm like, am I around where? He's like, around my hometown. And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah. And I asked him why he's asking me that. He was like, his friend, we're gonna call him, let's call him Jay. So Jay lives in front of my grandmother's house. So he's like, Jay saw your mom's car, and he told me that you're around. That's why I'm calling you to ask you. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I am around. He's like, what time did you guys get here? I'm like, we got here around 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, okay, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm trying to come see you. Yo guys, when I tell you that my stomach fucking dropped, because I'm like, Dusty, on the phone, you're acting like you didn't want me back, Mara. I'm here now, so what's up? What we doing? Right. He comes and he calls me. He's like, I'm outside. So like when he calls me, he tells me he's by the church, like he's walking past the church. So I tell him like, wait for me there, because remember at this point, me and this person have broken up. He has made no attempt to try and contact me and stuff like that. So naturally I texted my family, and by my family I mean my sisters and my mom, on our group chat, and I told them to never mention his name around me again, and that he's dead. So don't talk about him. Respectfully, let him rest in peace. And everybody understood the assignment. Nobody was talking about him. Now when he's like, I'm outside, like I don't want them to see that, you know, I'm communicating with him, because why are you talking to the dead? Do you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I'm outside. So I walk out. I was wearing pajamas, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So the church is like maybe 3 houses away from my grandmother's place. So I walk down and I meet him there. Guys, when I tell you, my stomach was doing backflips. I was so excited to see this man. This is my man. Why am I, you know? That's what was going through my mind. But I don't want to show him that, because guys, we went through it and I didn't want it to be easy. Even though that's what my heart wanted, I wasn't gonna make it easy for him. That's what I was thinking, like meeting up with him. So I got there, we got to talking, and immediately he asked me, you know, are you seeing someone? And then I was like, no. Like, I was honest about what happened. I told him I went out on a date. He told me he had been seeing someone, yeah, something, but he like kind of downplayed the situation and said it wasn't that serious. So what's up? And I'm like, what's up? And he basically told me that he wants us to get back together and whatnot. And I told him he was on probation. Like I said, I didn't want it to seem like, yo, I'm so thirsty for you, I love you, like, come back to me. No. Yeah, that's basically the conversation that we had. And he was just so touchy-feely, so loving. He was hugging me, kissing me. God was again, guys, no, in front of a church. You know what I mean? So I just, like, I felt the same way too, because I missed him that much as well. And us not being together didn't make any sense to me, essentially. Okay, cool. So fast forward, now we're seeing each other every day, rabonan, every day rajola, homanate man, you know, what relationship shops, yeah. We usually spend New Year's Eve together and cross into the new year together. It's kind of like a tradition that we've had for as long as we've been dating. Plus our anniversary is on the 1st of January. So it just makes sense to spend time together. Do you know what I mean? It would have been our baby's second anniversary. Yeah. Or was it third? Second or third, I'm not sure. So so he tells me, come to my house. I tell him, so he asks me what I want to drink and whatnot, and I tell him I want Hennessy, and he couldn't find it because, yeah, if you know, you know. So I said, like, so I tell him alternatively I'll have Covensier. I bought the vodka for him, and then he bought the cognac for me. Came to fetch me from my house. You know, my mom is like, how when I and Marshall are back together now, like, what's going on? I'm like, girl, we're just friends. So I was telling everyone, girl, we're just friends, but we were like fully back together, like fully. It was giving or confused, because you told us he's dead and you'd never want us to talk about him again, and now you're back with him. I wasn't ready to dive into that, right? Cool. So he comes and he fetches me. I was bathing. Like, I made him wait outside for like a little while, and he was with his sister. I thought he was alone. That's why I was taking my time. So I went out, got in the car, we drove. I remember we stopped for Hubley and stuff because I had came with my Hubley. And we got to his house. His mom was there. I greeted. It was chilled. And then everybody was leaving. Basically gonna be me and him in the house, which I was fine with. He didn't want us to go to Groove. I don't want us to go to Groove. Like, it was giving, let's be in each other's, do you understand? So yeah, cool. So it is, what time was it? Around the time where people start with the fireworks. I'm sitting next to him on a couch, and he gets a WhatsApp message. So now, like, if I'm sitting, like, this is my man, guys. If he's getting a text, like, I'm on a quick low, you know. So I see the screenshotted video, right? I see a text saying, look at what your girlfriend is posting. She's cheating on you. She's been seeing this guy for a while now. We've been seeing them around Pretoria, blah 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 blah. And immediately when I saw that, I knew who sent it, because remember, go back now, she was the only person on my close friends that I added to see who the rat was, basically. Do you know what I mean? So she did what I wanted her to do, essentially. Not the lies, right? I wanted her to send the video because we were not together at that point, because I wanted him to feel like shit and I wanted him to want me back. But I know she's sending it when we're back together. So it's giving what is going on here, right? So also bear that in mind, right? Cool. We're gonna call this girl, I'm gonna call her Tall Horse, because she's tall as fuck. So Tall Horse she gets, guys, this is psychotic shit. She gets a brand new number, brand new SIM card. SIM card, so just to send that, she made a WhatsApp for that number. She sent that, and then basically deactivated the number, right? So now he's asking me, who's this person? I tell him, I told you I went on a date with so and so. This is the person I was telling you about. He's like, but you held his hand. Like, he was going nuts basically, and I didn't understand, because you were like in a relationship with someone else, and you're mad that I went on a date with someone and held their hand and posted it on my close friends. Baby, it's giving cancer men are psychotic. So I was just genuinely confused by his reaction to that. And then this man tells me to get out of his house. Mind you, at this hour, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, right? 1 o'clock in the morning, he tells me to get out. So I'm like, excuse me? No, I'm not getting out. He laughs, but not like, haha, it's funny. Like, haha, how dare you say you're not getting out? So I'm like, I'm not getting out. You fetched me from my granny's house. If you want me to leave, you're gonna drop me right back, because it doesn't make sense for me to get out at this hour. Like, I get that you're upset, and no. He went outside, he left me in the house. So now I'm feeling bad, because I don't want him to think me giving him an attitude is because I'm guilty. I want us to be okay. Like, we just got back together. Like, just let it go. It's not that deep. I go outside. Number one, he knows I'm terrified of fireworks. Terrified, especially the bomb. All right, this man, I kid you not, he lights it. Even I feel like he lit it in secret, because I didn't see him like go like and light the bomb, and he throws it. Yo, guys, when I tell you, my heart sank into my ass. I was so scared, and I felt like, you're violating me. You know, I'm like super scared of these things, but you're gonna throw it at me just because you're upset about a random text you got from a random number. Like, at the time, it was not really clocking, you know, but like, okay, cool. So at that point, I felt like the relationship was over. I don't want to be with you anymore because you threw a bomb at me. You're fucking crazy. Like, go to hell, basically, is what I was thinking. So I decided to call my mom, and it was such a hassle because I use Telkom and it doesn't really work. I just wanted to add that she called him while I called my mom, like, when I'm here, right? So I called my mom, like, I was putting my phone in airplane mode, switching it on off, and finally my call went through. I call my mom, I tell her, please come fetch me. My mom on the other end of the phone, oh, Bella Pina Eya Gaps. I don't know what was the song. I forgot the song, but I call her, I tell her, come and fetch me. She's confused, she's singing. I'm like, girl, you need to stop singing right now and come and fetch me now. Marshall said I should get the fuck out of his house, so come and fetch me. Mama is like, what? I'm like, yeah, he said that to me, so come and fetch me. So she's like, okay, I'm coming. So like, she says she's coming, but she's shouting at me in the same breath. So I just hung up because I'm not trying to hear that. Bang, cricket. I get happy right now. I just want to get out of here because it's giving. What is he gonna throw at me next? A fucking knife, you know? Yeah, no. My mom calls me Vele, she's outside, right? So I get my shit, I go outside. Outside, there are 2 polos. So one is full of girls. So now I'm like, I was just told that was Tohos. You to this girl. That was Tohos and her friends, right? Or whoever. I don't know the other people. I just saw a bunch of girls. And I was a bit confused about what was going on, because now I'm thinking, oh, so you're kicking me out so you guys can have a fucking house party. So when I turn, I'm immediately aggressive. Like, I'm ready to fight because I'm like, what the fuck is going on, you know? So my cousin's boyfriend just comes and he gets me. He's like, no, don't be like that, don't do that. Snacks, don't entertain them, just get in the car so we can go. We're buying at home, we're having fun, like, forget about it. And I get okay, because I'm thinking like, these people are here to jump me, you know. So I get in the car, Vela, and my mom is like, yeah, I told you about Marshall, but you said you're gonna go, you don't want to chill with that. I'm like, girl, I'm really not trying to hear that. So my cousin Angfilela bed, she gives me a Savannah. So I drink my Savannah on the way back to my grandmother's house. I go outside, I'm chilling with them while they're crying. Margafila Hormabelwaga is not here. My heart is with my man. Guys, when I tell you, I was so heartbroken. I literally told them, I'm coming. I went to my room at my grandmother's place. I poured like this much Covensier. I mixed it with Savannah. I downed it. And I just took off my clothes and I got into bed. I was so heartbroken. I couldn't believe what had just transpired. I couldn't believe it. Number one, my intention coming back here was not to get back with this man, but we got back together. I was reminded of how great it is when we're happy. Number two, he kicked me out of his house. Number three, this is my fault because I shouldn't have added that tall rat to my thing. Now, she did what I wanted her to do, Vele, but she did it at the completely wrong time. Really happy. So, I was mad. I was so mad. And that's when everything was clicking. Like when I was lit and in bed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is equals to 5. And again, do you understand? Cool. Hi, I'm depressed. The 2 I'm fucking depressed. I tell my mom, yo, dude, we've been here for way too long. Like, when are we going home? I'm over this place. I never want to come back here again. I'm done. Can we go? So my little brother's like, no, no, it's my friend's birthday. So I asked him, when is your friend's birthday? He's like, the 7th. Yo, guys, when I think the 7th, I want to positively unalive myself because I wanted to leave with immediate effect. So I thought, you know what, let me not be selfish, let me just stick it out. Yeah. So giddy 4 during the day. So my mom is like, yo, you've been depressed. And right now I'm like drinking, like, but nobody can really see. Like I goisha, but I'm goisha tispy, you know. So I wasn't really feeling it as much. Like every time I would be sober, I was really feeling it. I was going through it. I just no. So on the 4th, my mom asked my cousin, who like, let's do something. What's going on today? Get it for like where are people chilling? Let's go chill with the people. You know, sorry, I can be better like emotionally and stuff like that. And then I decide, okay, let me dress up, let me look cute, let's go. So we go, and it was a great day. Like my cousin's friend bumped into us and he's like, why is she so sad? Here's some money. Like money cheers me up, child. If you want to cheer me up, give me some money. So he gave me money and then get home by happy and I get, oh, okay, you know. So we get to this place, we're drinking, we're chilling, it's nice. So my man's sister texts me. She's like, where you at? Like, what's going on? Like, where you chilling? So I tell her where I am and I ask her where she is. So she tells me, hore, she's Kuskaring. There's this place that they call Kuskaring here. So basically it translates to tree. I'm at the tree. So I'm like, oh, where is the tree? So she basically directs me and I'm like, okay. She's like, you should come through, like come. And I'm like trying to convince the people that I'm with her, let's go, get out of here, you know. And in the back of my mind, I'm kind of hoping that I'm gonna see him. I get very much something. So we drive to the tree. As we're driving to the tree, now we get to the tree, anxiety hits me. My heart is beating in my ass now. So we're looking for parking. So my cousin's boyfriend is the one that's driving. I'm sitting in the back with my mom and my cousin, and her boyfriend is driving and his friend is sitting next to him. Cool. So I see like the headlights go on and I see my boyfriend's mom's car, right? And I'm like, oh, I see two people standing next to it. So as the car is approaching, because remember now we had been drinking Savannah's, right? So as the car is approaching, I'm like, hi man, little thing, my man, hey. My man is with a girl in a leather skirt, child. When I tell you, my soul left my body. So we turned. So everybody now is looking at me to kind of get a reaction. And my cousin is like, hi man, Hasi, your man, get again. So now everybody's in the car. Everybody's trying to read the car. Like, are we staying? Are we going back to where we were? What are we doing? We drive past. This man screams and he does this. He goes, hey! So now everyone in the car is like, how dare he? How dare he? We're reversing this car. We reverse. Him and leather skirt girl run into the crowd. So now I'm confused. Told him, what? Hey, you ran. What's going on? Because you called us, now we're coming, and now you're running away. Why are you running away? So my cousin's boyfriend is like, no ways. He parks the car, he pulls the handbrake out, he runs out after them. And at this point, I'm lit, right? And guys, this is so, I'm so ashamed to admit this, but I'm fucking ratchet and I believe in violence. So at this point, I was eating my nails. I had extendos, so I was eating them. I'm thinking he's bringing the both of them, so we're gonna fight, you know. So everybody in the car's telling me, calm down, we know how you are, you're gonna want to fight. I'm like, no, I don't want to fight. But they're not clocking the fact that I have already ate my nails. So my man comes. He greets like he didn't just, do you understand? Like, number one, you didn't just throw a cricket at me. Number two, you weren't busy with leather skirt girl. Till this day, he says he was cappering her to go and pee. But why? So he comes. My mom is like, Marshall. I just called him. You guys know his name anyway. So my mom was like, Marshall. And Marshall is like, so my mom was like, my mom was just being petty for no reason. Marshall is confused because that's what he usually calls her. He's like, oh, sorry, mama. So like they're asking, I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie and say I remember the questions that he was asked, but what I remember is the whole time that they were speaking to him and he was actually answering these questions, he was looking me dead in the eye as if, yeah, I did it, so what are you gonna do about it? That's what it felt like. And I'm like, I want to beat him up, you know, like negative bit. I was so mad. And then they told him, oh, you know what, just go. Got in the car. So they asked me, so are we staying? And I'm like, no, I would like to go home. You guys can come back, but I would like to go home. I kid you not, before Koloi Ijigaga, yo, you know when you have something stuck here? I cried. And it wasn't like a silent cry, like it was a cry. I cried all the way to the house, and they were trying to like calm me down. Oh no, my floor's my granny. My floor can't see you like this. My floor's gonna think we're drunk. Stop crying. You know when you're trying, I was trying, but every time I would just start crying again. And guys, it was bad. It was bad. So my cousin's boyfriend is hugging me. He's trying to console me. Him and his friend are telling me, don't worry about him. You're from Pretoria. You're a hot girl. You've been telling us the whole day you're a city girl. That's what you are. He's a drug smoker. He smokes drugs. They're just trying to make me feel better, you know? And in my mind, I'm thinking, fuck that. Like, you know, I love him. That's what I'm thinking. I love him, and he embarrassed. I'm embarrassed most of all. Like, that's why I was crying, because if I witnessed this by myself, it wouldn't be as bad. But my thing is, you're embarrassing me in front of my family. Like, embarrassing me in front of people that I don't care about, I don't care. But now I'm embarrassed. I can't hide this. I can't sweep it under the rug. I can't marinate it to make it sound better than it actually is. Like, everybody witnessed it in real time. So that's why I was crying. I got in the house, I cried myself to sleep. I just woke up and it was the next morning. And yeah, I made the conscious decision, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. Like, nothing can be said, nothing can be done. Like, I'm done. But I needed someone to talk to who was like not biased and didn't hate his guts. So my aunt doesn't live too far from my granny, so I drove to her. And I basically got there and I told her everything that had happened, everything that transpired. And like, I told her, you know what, I know that this that happened, but the thing is, I love this person, and me not being with him has to be on my terms. It has to be not because people are telling me not to be with him and not because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's suffering, you know. I'm the one going to bed with all of these questions. Like, even if we don't get back together, I just want to sit down with him and I need him to debrief. I need him to tell me what the hell is going on, because I am fucking confused, you know. So she told me, you know what, drive to his house, knock on the door and talk to him. Like, go get your answers, because at the end of the day, people can tell you to forget him all that they want. Like, as long as it's not coming from you, it's not gonna happen. So I decided, yeah, you're right. I'm like, no man, let me go home first, because my mom is gonna ask too many questions, so I've been gone for a long time. So I'm just gonna make up a story and I'm gonna drive right to his house and I'm gonna do exactly what my aunt said. So I get in the house, I make small talk, nyana. They ask me, oh, how was it? I tell them it was proper, you know, whatever. And then as I'm making small talk, my phone rings. It's this man again. So he asked me, where are you? I'm like, home. You know, I'm being very cold over the phone, as if I said now on the you know, como confront ke motho pele hirahalang pele bothata ba hao keng, like, you know, I'm cold. I'm like, I'm home. He's like, oh, I'm outside, can you please come out? So I go out because I'm genuinely curious at what this person wants at this point. So I'm like, what do you want? He laughs and he's like, but not like a condescending laugh, like laughing nervously, you know. And he's like, no, I just wanted you to cover me. I'm like, you came all the way from your house to come and tell me to come cover you somewhere? He's like, yeah, I just want us to take a walk. And I'm like, I don't want to walk anywhere with you, you know, like, because yo guys, like, yeah. But basically we spoke and I expressed that I don't want to be with him anymore and whatnot. I don't know what was going through his mind at that point, but yeah, I just felt like, yeah, I don't want to be with you anymore. Yeah, but we ended up together anyway. And yeah, so what I was trying to get at is that Tohos orchestrated this whole thing, and then she wants to act like, do you understand? So my man told me her Tohos had been pursuing her all while we were not together. So she's pursuing him, she's buying him food, she's doing this, that, and the other. Like, girl is applying pressure. She's applying pressure. And what pisses me off about this whole situation is the fact that Tohos lied. You have never seen me anywhere with anyone in Pretoria, because we want to get Pretoria, because, do you understand? Like, why did you lie? Like, I understand wanting my man. He's an attractive man. Like, he's a great man. But why would you lie, Savannah? Why? Like, if you wanna snatch my man, snatch him on, you know, on merit, on the fact that, yeah, with that girl. Don't come now and lie. And then this year, so she blocked me on her social medias and stuff like that, because I unfollowed her because she's fucking trifling. She blocked me on her social media, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about you. Keep it pushing. I got my man back, we're together, and you failed, basically. So that's why I really didn't care about that. So I unfollowed her. I unfollowed everyone who was related to her that I knew of. And yeah. So this year, I get a DM on Instagram. And this girlie, I'll actually just post the messages here. And this girlie she has the nerve to give me a backhanded apology. Like, oh, I'm sorry this and this happened, I would explain, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, bitch, you don't think it's necessary? And I feel like it pissed me off so much because this was a person that I had never done anything to, and my friends, or well, my acquaintances at that time would tell me that, you know, this person is like this and that, because I came here and I wanted to make some friends. Do you know what I mean? So I would ask my aunts and I would ask my acquaintances, so what do you think of this person? How is this person? Is this person a good person? So I got like bad reviews, but I didn't chest those things. I thought I wanted to know the person for myself and experience her for myself, and then I will make the decision. But yo, she did me dirty. Like, she did me filthy. And then you're gonna give me a backhanded apology. I told her very nicely to go fuck herself. You know, I didn't say that, but I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Like, yeah, I was the bigger person about it. But now that, like, I'm putting a lot of pieces together, especially because now I'm like back in Northwest, the pieces are pissing me off, and I feel like I should have told her to go and fuck herself. So I'm doing it here on this public platform. So yeah, that's basically the story time on how I got kicked out on New Year's Eve. But it's fine though. He said sorry. So I think that brings us to the end of the story time. If you guys have any questions about the situation, make sure you leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell to be notified every time I have a new upload. Let me know if you guys want more story times, because girl, men hate us. Anyway, I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.